The Forbidden City is located in the center of Beijing. It used to be the former imperial palace for the Ming and the Qing emperors. The Forbidden City was first built in 1420 during the Ming Dynasty, while the Qing emperors also stayed inside after they entered Beijing. Starting from the third emperor of the Ming Dynasty to the last emperor of the Qing Dynasty, altogether 24 emperors lived and conducted the state affairs in the Forbidden City for a total of 491 years. 14 of them were Ming emperors and 10 were Qing emperors. Before we are going inside, let me say something about the history of the Forbidden City. The Forbidden City was built in the Ming Dynasty. The Ming Dynasty started from 1368 to 1644, totally 276 years. But in 1368, after the first emperor established the Ming Dynasty, he made Nanjing as his capital. But after the third emperor Zhu Di came to the throne, he decided to move the capital from Nanjing to Beijing. Upon the decision of moving the capital, a large-scale construction of the Forbidden City started in 1406 in Beijing. The Forbidden City was built based on the model of the imperial palace in Nanjing, but was more splendid and larger. The construction took 14 years and was completed in 1420. In the following year, 1421, the capital of the Ming Dynasty was officially moved from Nanjing to Beijing. The Forbidden City is the best preserved imperial palace in China and the largest Asian palatial structure in the world. It's the largest piece of ancient Chinese architecture still in existence today. The Forbidden City covers an area of 72 hectares. It is rectangular in shape, 960 meters long from north to south, and 750 meters wide from east to west, surrounded with the 10-meter-high city wall and encircled by a 52-meter-wide moat. At each corner of the surrounding wall, there is a magnificent watchtower which was heavily guarded in the old days. The Forbidden City can be divided into two parts, the outer court and the inner palace. The outer court consists of 3 main buildings in the front part of the Forbidden City. This was a place where the emperors attended the grand ceremonies and conducted the state affairs, while the inner palace is composed of rare 3 main buildings and 6 eastern palaces and 6 western palaces on both sides. And here was the place where the emperor used to handle the daily affairs, and it was the living quarters for the emperor, empress, and imperial concubines. Meridian Gate. There are 4 gates in each side of the Forbidden City. The Meridian Gate is the main entrance to the Forbidden City, and also the south gate of the Forbidden City. It is called the Meridian Gate because the emperor believed that the meridian line went right through the Forbidden City, and his imperial residence was the center of the whole universe. In addition, according to the ancient Chinese compass, the meridian indicates south, so the Meridian Gate also served as the south gate of the Forbidden City.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we're gonna visit one of the most famous scenic spots in Beijing, which is the Forbidden City. And today, we invited Professor Liu Aifu from Beijing Union University to give us an introduction about the Forbidden City. Now, let's welcome her.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Okay, now look at here. Priscilla, that's your teacher, right? But today she dressed up in this way. Just to remind you, in old days, the beautiful girl would dress up in this way. Okay, thank you very much. It's an honor for me to give you a brief introduction about the Forbidden City. Now here we are standing in front of the Forbidden City. But first I want to tell you why we call it a Forbidden City. You may ask me, how come you call it Forbidden City? Well, today you are here. Okay, we should use the past tense. It was forbidden to the common people in the old days. Here, just like the emperor's home. And he stayed here and conducted the state affairs here. So in the old days, it was forbidden to the common people. That's why it was called Forbidden City. Okay, talking about Forbidden City, the Forbidden City has a long history.
Yes.
It's about more than 600 years. It was first built in 1420. Altogether, there were 24 emperors lived here in two dynasties. One is a Ming dynasty, another one is Qing dynasty. That's the two last dynasties. So altogether, 24 emperors, they lived here. And in the old days, the emperor stayed here, and also his family stayed here. Now, we are standing at the gate. This is the main entrance in the Forbidden City. The Forbidden City is a rectangular in shape. It's a full entrance. Right here, this is the south gate. But the name of this gate is called Meridian Gate. Okay, Priscilla. Now, this is the south gate of the Forbidden City. We're just in front of the gate. Actually, the Forbidden City got four big gates in each direction. This is the south. So this is the south gate. And also in the Forbidden City, it has north gate, east gate, and west gate. But this gate also called Meridian Gate. When you read the guidebook, the Meridian Gate, also the south gate. So look at the big gate right here, Meridian Gate. Well, the Meridian Gate, look at the door. The gate in the middle is a square sized. In the front part, you can see three. Well, there are two smaller ones in the corner of the gate.
Professor Liu,
yes.
May I ask, why do we call it Meridian Gate?
Okay, meridian actually indicates south. According to the theory, meridian actually is the line on the globe from the north end to the bottom. So we call it meridian line. The emperor gave the name Meridian Gate, indicates that this is the center on the globe. So that's why it's called Meridian Gate. And also meridian indicates south. This is a south gate. Okay?
Mm-hmm. And I have another question, Professor Liu. Why there has 5 gates here?
Okay, but generally speaking, one bigger gate should have one gate. But how come they got 5 doors? Because in China, we got a different the ranking system. In old days, the middle one right here, this is the largest one. Well, the row right here, for the emperor only. Only the emperor could use the middle doorway and the gate. So we also call it, this is the imperial gate and the imperial gateway. Well, the gate on the east, on this side, that's for the high-ranking officials, about the 3rd rank. While the gate on this side, that's for the royal family members. And you still can see in each corner, there are 2 smaller ones. That's for the low-ranking officials below the 4th rank. That's why there are altogether 5. Okay? Now, let's go inside.
And Professor Liu, I noticed that this gate is different from the normal gate that we see. Here are lots of round things. What are these?
So that's what I want to tell you. Now look at the big gate right here. There's so many doorknobs right here. Do you know how many altogether? 81. There are altogether 9 lines, and each line has 9 doorknobs. Because as you know, 9 is a very good lucky number in Chinese, especially in the numeral culture. In old days, 9 is the largest odd number among the single letter. And the 9 got a very good pronunciation, long life or longevity. So that's why in the emperor's impure position, they got 9 in lines. And altogether, each line has a 9. Altogether 81, symbolize the supreme power of the emperor. So that's why the doorknobs right here. Now look at the gate right here. Hello everybody, now look at this beautiful girl. Her name is Harmony. You know there's a special name. Inside the Forbidden City, the last buildings and the gates got the same name, Harmony, harmonious. And she dressed up in the Qing style. Just now that girl, Pristina, in the Ming style, Ming dynasty. This is the Qing dynasty. In old days, the emperors are impure concubines, all dressed up in this way. Okay, Qing dynasty style. Very nice and beautiful girl, right? And she also look up the doorknobs. This is a very good luck for the girls to touch it because there are special meaning inside. Okay, everybody, now we are standing right here. Now look at the gate right here. This is inside the Meridian Gate. But inside the Meridian Gate, you can see the 5 doorways is a round shaped. This is the ancient Chinese believing, especially in the Ming Dynasty. We Chinese people believe that the heaven is round and earth is square. So outside, we see the gate is a square sized. That means this is a earth. While here is a round shaped. This is a heaven. So inside is a round, outside is a square. Can you see it clearly? You can see the gate right here. Now the bridge right here, in old days, is the same as the doorway. The middle one is the largest and the widest. That's for the emperor. While the 2 smaller ones on both sides, that's for the high-ranking officials and the ministers. The little one on the either side, that's for the low-ranking officials. Okay, let's go inside. Now look at the big gate again. Okay, now here, in front of the gate, this is the gate of supreme harmony. In front of the gate, you can see there's a bronze line right here. Actually, there are 2 bronze lines all in front of the gate. You know, in old days, the bronze line served as a guardians to guard the impure gate and the impure gateway. So that's why we got the bronze line right here. But actually, if you see it carefully, you can see they're not exactly the same. One is a male line, another one is a female. Even today, in front of the gate, we have this line, you know, bronze line or stone line, and stay in front of the gate. Now this one, this is a female line. Look at it carefully. This female line on the left paw and her feet, you know, on her paw, there's a baby line. The baby line is upside down. You see that? It's upset. This is the mother. This is a female line. And you may ask me, where is the male line? The male line is over there. Now see over there on the left. That's the male line. Let's go close and we'll see clearly how can we distinguish which one is male and which one is a female, okay? Now here, please. Now please see here. This one is the line I mentioned. It's a male line. If you see it carefully, you can see this male line. Under the right paw, there's a ball. He's playing. That means he's a male line. The difference is one is the baby line, another one, this one is a ball. And symbolize the supreme power of the emperor. And you may ask, how come if you see the bronze line placed with a ball symbolize the power of the emperor? Because he's playing. The mother is busy. So that's why this is a power. He can do whatever he wants. But actually, the 2 bronze lines served as guardians in the old days. Okay? Now, let's go inside. Okay, now this is the gate of supreme harmony. This is the front gate in the whole Forbidden City. And inside, that's the Hall of Supreme Harmony. But in the Ming Dynasty, in the early Ming Dynasty, right here at the gate, here was a place for the emperor to give audience at the gate. You may ask, how come the emperor give audience at the gate? Why not in the hall? The reason is the hall inside was burned down, caused by lightning when the emperor stayed here. Because the Forbidden City was built in 1420 by the third emperor of the Ming Dynasty. And the people said he usurped the power from his nephew. So the building inside was burned down, caused by lightning. This is the punishment given by the heaven. So that's why the emperor had no place at that time, because the building was burned down. That's why the emperor gave audience at the gate. Okay? All right, now let's go inside.
So Professor Liu, here is a very huge square, and I've noticed that there's no plants here. Why is that?
Okay, this is a very good question I'm going to answer, all right? Before I answer your question, let me say something about this big hall first. Now look at here, in front of us, Supreme Harmony. Actually, in old days, this is the most important building in the Forbidden City, the Hall of Supreme Harmony. And now here is the place where the emperor gave audience, you know, at the gate, or have a big ceremony. So this is the most important building, the Hall of Supreme Harmony. Well, the big building stands on the 3 marble terrace. On each terrace, there are some, you know, decorations or incense burners. Now look at here. Just now, Priscilla asked me why the huge square here, no plants or no trees here. Actually, this is according to the Chinese culture, 5 elements. You know the 5 elements? The metal, the gold or metal, that's the same thing. You know, wood, water, fire, and earth. You know, according to the 5 elements, the wood overcome the earth because the big building built on the marble terrace shaped as a Chinese character, earth. So that's to conquer each other. So that's why there's no trees right here. All right? Now here, please see the square right here. The bricks right here in front of us, down here, this is the original one. While some of the new bricks we paved, that's for the tourists. There's an old saying, you know, in old days, since the emperor, this is a living quarter for the emperor, since the emperor lived in the luxury life, and then the emperor was afraid that someone might enter here to kill him. While the emperor noticed nobody could enter here through the gate because all the gates were heavily guarded. And then the emperor was afraid that someone may make a tunnel. So later, we found a very good reason. Right here, underneath of the square, there are altogether, you know, 15 layers of bricks, lengthwise, underground, just in case people make a tunnel to enter to the Forbidden City. So this is the original stone, original bricks, about more than 600 years. Okay? All right, now let's go inside the building. This way, please.
This is the Hall of Supreme Harmony. The name of this building means the harmonious relationship between the people and nature, nationalities, even the harmonious relationship between the emperor and his officials, all various things and elements in the universe, all in perfect harmony. Dragons is placed on the red sandalwood platform located in the center of the hall.
Okay, everybody, now please look at here, the big cauldrons right here. The big cauldrons in the Forbidden City, altogether more than 308 altogether. But this one made of iron. So it's easily to see this one made in Ming Dynasty. Actually, the Forbidden City, the emperors, altogether 24. The 24 emperors stay here for 2 dynasties. One is a Ming Dynasty, another one is a Qing Dynasty. The big cauldrons right here, made of iron, that made in Ming Dynasty. You may ask me, why they have the big cauldrons right here? Then there are so many, more than 300. In old days, all the buildings right here built with wood. It's easily to caught fire caused by lightning. And actually, most of the building was burned down in a fire. So they have big cauldrons right here for containing the water in case of fire. So big cauldrons just to prevent fire with the water. And later, I'm going to show you the bronze one. Now the bronze one is much better than the iron one, okay? All right, now this way, please. Okay, look at here. This one, you may ask me, what is it? This is the incense burner made of bronze or copper. The bronze incense burner. On the 3 marble terraces, there were altogether 18 incense burners. In old days, whenever the emperor had a big ceremony, all the incense burners could be used. And you may ask me why there are 18. They got a special meaning because in the Qing dynasty, the 18 incense burners symbolize the 18 provinces in our country. Not in the Ming. Ming is 15, while only the Qing dynasty, there are 18. So that's why symbolize the 18 provinces in our country. Incense burner. Okay? Now let's go upstairs over there. Okay, now please look at here. These big cauldrons, it looks much better than the iron cauldrons, right? Over there, we had iron cauldrons, but this one is made of bronze. In old days, this is also for holding the water to prevent fire. But from the surface, you can see there are some marks on the surface because the big cauldrons were gilded. It was gilded by gold. Each big cauldron was 3 kilos of gold on surface. But unfortunately, in 1900, when the Allied forces invaded Beijing, the scraped the gold from the surface. The soldiers scraped the gold from the surface of the cauldrons. Now, please look at here. Now, come here. Actually, you know the big cauldrons I just now told you for storing water in case of fire. But how could we use the water in winter? Because here in Beijing, you know, winter was very cold, and here the water will be freezing. Well, actually in old days, you know, underneath of the cauldrons, they got fire. But what kind of fire? They got charcoal fire. Now there's a small door. It's a windy day, they just close the door. When it's not too windy, they just open it and keep the fire underneath, make the water ready to use all the time in winter. So the big cauldrons, actually the function is for storing water in case of fire. Okay? Now, let's go over there. Okay, now please here. There's a dragon head turtle made of bronze. Okay, do you know what is it? All right, now, right here, there's another one. I have to tell you two together. Now, this one is a bronze crane. The bronze crane and the dragon head turtle, both of them, they are incense burners. In old days, when the emperor had a ceremony, both of them, they will be used to burn incense inside. And you may ask, why do you shape it like this? Is there any special meaning for that? Yes, because in Chinese culture, turtle can live a long life. So this one symbolizes the longevity. While the crane, people believed, the crane right here, this kind of bird, could fly to the heaven. The God of heaven, when they have a birthday celebration, they use the crane. So that's why we Chinese people believe the crane and the turtle can live a long life. So that's why symbolize the longevity. And later, if you go close to it, you can see they are hollow inside. At the back, there's a cover. Actually, in the old days, the cover can put it up and then put the incense inside. When they make a fire in it, they put the cover on the top, the smoke will come out from the mouth. So they are incense burner. All right, now please see here about this one. This is a great measure, the bronze pavilion. The bronze pavilion is a great measure. Inside, there's a copper container. This one used for agriculture in the old days. And they put it right here in front of the Hall of Supreme Harmony, symbolize the dignity of people. Because in old days, whatever people use it, this is a standard measure for agriculture in old days. We call it green measure. Okay, the bronze, the incense burner right here. Just now I told you already, altogether 18. So when the emperor had a ceremony, all the things will be used. The incense burners will be used. Okay? All right, let's go over there. This is the sundial. Actually, this is Asian clock. The sundial should be sun comes out. You see in the middle, there's a needle. We see the shadow on the round plane, and then we know what time is it. Because on the ridge of the round stone, there are certain mark carved on it. That means the time. So when the sun comes out, and then we can see the shadow of the needle pin, and then we know what time is it. And actually, this one specially made with a 50 degrees angles, because in Chinese, we got 24 solar terms. Started from the spring and autumn. In the springtime, we see the shadow on the upper part, while in winter, in the autumn time, we see the shadow on the lower part. And you may ask, okay, if the weather like today is a rainy day or it's a cloudy day, do you know what time is it? Because there's no sun and then there's no shadow. Yes, we still can know what time is it, because inside the building, we got a water clock. So the water clock, you can use it when the weather is not good. Whenever the sun comes out, we can use the sundial. This is a famous sundial. Okay, this way, please. Now, everybody, please see here, this building. This is the Hall of Middle Harmony. From the size, you can see this is the pyramidal roof building. This building is much smaller than the building in the front, the Hall of Supreme Harmony, because in old days, here was only a place for the emperor to have a rest before the emperor entered the ceremony. And you may ask, why did the emperor went to the ceremony and before that he needed to have a rest? Because this is the front court of the Forbidden City for the emperor to have a ceremony, while the emperor's living quarter was at the rear part. So before the ceremony, the emperor would sit on the stand chair and somebody would carry him to the building. Of course, the emperor should come here ahead of time. And then the emperor will wait the time, and then the emperor have a rest. And at the same time, the emperor would receive the officials and the high-ranking officials and review the procedure. What did the emperor do? Because in old days, you know, we got some child emperors. So the emperor had to repeat or have to prepare or have to do the last-minute preparation to what did the emperor say and what would the emperor do during the ceremony. You know, for instance, the last emperor of the Chinese dynasty, he was only 2.5 years old. So before the ceremony, of course, the emperor would come here and have a rest. And then officials will tell him what to do and what to say. So sometimes the dress rehearsals took place here. Now, please see the things inside. Only the emperor throne in the middle and some incense burners in the front. The place for the emperor to have rest. Another function for this building is every year in springtime, the emperor would come here to examine the tools for agriculture, because the emperor paid much attention to agriculture. So before the emperor went to the altar of agriculture, he will examine the tools, right? The seeds of the plants right here in this room. Okay? All right, now please see the things inside.
This is the Hall of Preserving Harmony. This is the last hall of the 3 main halls in the outer court. In the Ming Dynasty, before going to the Hall of Supreme Harmony for the grand ceremonies, such as conferring the title on the empress and the crown prince, the emperor would change into full ceremonial dress in this hall. It was also the place to have the banquets to entertain the civil and the military officials. While in the Qing Dynasty, the emperor gave a banquet on the Chinese Lunar New Year's Eve to entertain the princes and envoys of Mongolian nobles and other nationalities. The place for the palace exam changed many times, but at last, after 1789, the palace exam was held here in this hall.
So Professor Liu, so here is another hall. What is the name of the hall?
Okay, this is a hall of preserving harmony. Actually, there are three big halls in the front court of the Forbidden City. The Hall of Supreme Harmony, the Hall of Middle Harmony, and the Hall of Preserving Harmony. You know, in old days, in the Ming Dynasty, here was a place for the emperor to change his clothes before he went to the ceremony. While in the Qing Dynasty, during Emperor Qianlong's reign, here was a place for the very important thing, palace examination. So every 3 years, the examination would take place here.
So what is the palace examination?
Palace examination is the highest level in our country at that time. Just like today's entrance examination to the college and the university. Because the palace examination in old days, like this, altogether 5 levels. The first level is at the bottom, just from their village, from the county, and then to the city, and then to the, the ministries. At the last, for those scholars who pass this many examinations will be selected to enter the palace examination. During the palace examination, the emperor, he himself, would come here in person and write down the title for the scholars to write down the article. And then they selected the scholars from those, from the examination. For those people, the scholars who pass the examination would get honorable title. In Chinese, the top 3, we call them 状元, 榜眼, 探花, which means the first one, the second one, and the third one. These 3 kind of person would have a great honor to go out from the middle section. You know, in the middle section, in old days, we call it imperial gateway for the emperor only. The empress, even the empress, could not use the gateway in the middle. So like the concubine like you, it's not allowed for you to go in the middle. Well, for the top 3 scholars would have the honorable, the honor to go out through the middle section. So that's the palace examination. Okay? All right, now let's go to the next building over there. Let's go. Okay, everybody, now please see this building. Now this is the Hall of Preserving Harmony, actually. Just now I told you the function already. Now, let's see something outside right here. It's so beautiful, huh? The cauldrons, we have seen it already. And some other things.
What can you see on the rooftop?
What's that? Those little figures, Professor Liu?
Okay, you got a question, huh? Now, just now she said, the harmony said, the little figures on the top of the roof. Can you see that? Altogether, if you count the numbers, they're altogether 9, because 9 is the largest odd number, among the single letter from 1 to 9. Another reason is 9 got the same pronunciation as a longevity in Chinese. So that's why they got a 9. But she asked me, what are they? The little small figurines over there, the first one is not animal. It's a person who ride down on the chicken. While follow him behind, there are 9 little small animals. The first one is a dragon. The second one is the phoenix. And then lion, handy horse, seahorse, 孙尼, 亚鱼, 蟹豸, 斗牛. All of them, altogether 9. And you may say, what are they? Why they are put it right here? Because the 9 animals, each one has the particular power to prevent something. Someone prevent fire, someone prevent the evil spirits, prevent the water, blah, 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 blah. And then they can prevent everything. That's why they put them on the top. But actually, these little small animals, there's a practical use to prevent the water to come down inside the building. Because on the roof, they are made of glazed tiles. While in the corner, they should have a nail to keep the tiles stay on the roof, prevent them to sliding down. And then the tile must have a hole on the top. But if they have a hole over there and they have a Nile inside, and then it's easy to get water, like rainwater or snow water. And then if they put the small figurines on the top, and then the water cannot go inside. In this way, this is the best way to prevent the water from being damaged by water. And it looks beautiful, while practice use to prevent the water to go inside. And just now, Priscilla asked me, what's the big nail on the top of the building? Actually, that's the lightning arresters, because most of the buildings in old days, was burned down caused by lightning, because the building made of wood. So now, since we opened this area open to the public since 1925, and then we put the lightning arresters on the top of the building. So ever since then, none of the buildings here were caught by lightning and was on fire. So that's the lightning arresters.
That's very clever.
Thank you. All right, now let's go. This way, please. Okay, everybody, please see here. Look at the big stone right here. The marble is the carving right here. This is the largest one in the Forbidden City. Actually, this is a one piece of stone carving. Totally weight, more than 200 tons in weight, 16.57 meters long, 3.07 meters wide, and 1.7 meters thick. It's a one piece of stone. We got this big stone from Fangshan Mountain, which is about 75 kilometers away from Beijing.
So I have a question, Professor Liu.
Yes.
How did people at that time, with no development of science and technology, how did they transfer these such huge and large stone sculpture here? How did they transfer it?
Do you know the answer? Okay, very good question. She asked me. Think about more than 600 years ago in the Ming Dynasty, because the stone transported from Fangshan Mountain, which is about 70 kilometers away from the city, how could people transport such big stone right here without the modern transportation?
Yes.
Do you know? The smart Chinese people, Chinese people in ancient times, so smart, they invent the method of transporting big stone over ice in winter, while in summer, no ice. How did people transport? They use the rolling wood on the ground. Especially in winter time, they dug well along the way from 70 kilometers to the Forbidden City at every 500 meters along the way. And from the well, they got water and pull the water on the ground. They form the ice way. So they hold the big stone on the ice. It's more easier. This is the transportation work. So they transport the big stone and they carve it right here. When they finish carving, they put it right here. It actually should be put in the front, but it's too heavy. They left it right here because this area is also very important. This is a place to separate the front court and the inner court. Okay, now let's go. Everybody, now please see here. Behind me over there, that's the gate of heavenly purity. The gate of heavenly purity is the place on the gate in old days in the Qing dynasty for the emperor to give audience in old days. And look at the things, the objects placed in front of the gate. Again, here we can see the bronze line and the big cauldrons over there. Can you see that? It's similar to the things in the front. Okay.
And I've noticed that all these jars and lines are still gilded.
Oh yeah, it's gilded.
So why the gold are still there?
Oh, you mean, the gold still here while the cauldrons in the front, the gold was scraped off already?
Yeah.
Okay, this is one, the reason is, in 1900, when the 8 imperialist powers invaded here, they only entered in the front part. The rear part is closed, so they didn't enter to the rear part. And you may say, why they didn't enter here? Because the emperor still lived in the Forbidden City. The front part, just like office, they were occupied and they entered inside, while the living quarter, they didn't come in. So that's why the gold still there, okay?
And I've noticed the lines there are different from the lines outside, right?
What's the difference?
I can see that the lines over there, they look very furious.
Yes.
And here they look very cute and their ears are covered. Why is that?
Okay, this is a point I want to tell you. Actually, in the front, I told you already, the bronze line or copper line in front of the gate served as a guardians to guard the imperial gateway or imperial gate. While here, you can see again, there are two bronze lines. But her question is, why the ears are covered?
Yes.
Okay, the reason is, this is a living, from here, that inside, that's a living quarter for the emperor, empress, and the imperial concubines. In old days, both in the Ming and the Qing dynasties, women were not allowed to touch the politics or to touch the state affairs. They were not allowed. So here, they just select the ear covered. That means don't listen to the political question. Don't listen to the state affairs. Let them to turn the deaf ear to the state affairs. That's why they use the ear covered. Okay? Understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, let's go inside to see the building. This way, please. Let's go.
This is the Palace of Heavenly Purity. The Palace of Heavenly Purity is the largest building of the three rear palaces. During the Ming and early Qing dynasties, the emperors used to live here and handle the daily affairs, and sometimes held a private audience here. In the Qing dynasty, after the third emperor Yongzheng moved his living quarters to the Hall of Mental Cultivation, this building was used as an audience chamber for receiving envoys from vassal states who presented their tributes to the emperor. Foreign ambassadors were received here too. Here was also the place for holding the mourning service after the deceased emperor, because after the emperor died, the deceased emperor's coffin would be placed here for a period of mourning. In the Qing dynasty, the imperial family banquet was held here during the festivals. The famous banquet of 1,000 aged people was held twice here in the Qing dynasty, and all the attendants were above the age of 60 and 65. Inside this hall, high up in the center of the hall, there's a plaque above the throne with the words, "Be open and above board," which means justice and honesty. The system of appointing the successor secretly was related with this plaque. After Emperor Yongzheng's reign, the name of the successor to the throne was no longer announced publicly for the reason of security. The emperor would write down the name of his successor on 2 pieces of paper, and then put that paper into 2 small boxes. The emperor would hide one box behind this plaque, while the other one was taken with the emperor. When the emperor passed away, the 2 boxes would be opened at the same time, and after examining the 2 papers, the successor to the throne would be announced right on the spot. Thus, dispute among his sons would be avoided.
Now, please see the building behind me. Right here, this is the Hall of Heavenly Purity, or the Palace of Heavenly Purity. Actually, this is a residence for the emperor, especially for the Ming Dynasty. All the emperors lived here. That's the emperor's bedroom. While in the Qing Dynasty, only 2 emperors lived here. The first emperor, the second emperor lived here. Started from the third emperor in the Qing Dynasty, that's Emperor Yongzheng. He moved his living quarter from here to the Hall of Mental Cultivation, right there, the Hall of Mental Cultivation. And after him, all the emperors moved their living quarter over there. And here, just like an office for the emperor to conduct the state affairs, the daily state affairs. Okay, the big ceremony still in the Hall of Supreme Harmony, here for the daily activities.
So, Professor Liu, may we ask that why
Yes.
did the emperors move to there?
Okay, very good. Her question is, why did emperor move the living quarter from here to the hall of mental cultivation? Because the second emperor in the Qing dynasty, his name is Kangxi. Emperor Kangxi died, and his coffin placed here in the period of mourning in order to, show his respect to the dead emperor, while his son, that's the third emperor, Emperor Yongzheng, moved his living quarter from here to the building over there, the Hall of Mental Cultivation. And in this way, he could conduct the state affairs while to have a mourning day for his father. After his father's coffin moved to the imperial tomb, the emperor didn't move back. So after him, all the emperors in the Qing dynasty followed this emperor. The living quarter changed to the room over there. So that's the reason. And this place just like an office for the emperor to conduct the daily affairs. Actually, later when you go inside, you can see the building. There's a big plaque with a big 4 Chinese character. Be open and above board. This is a very important plaque in this room. Actually, the big plaque shows us a system. That's the secret system to select the successor by the emperor. So this is a very famous secret way to select the successor in the Qing dynasty. While there's some other decorations in this room, the big throne in the middle, and with the incense burners in the front. Mm-hmm.
So, why do we have this secret system for the emperor chosen?
Okay, the secret system in this room is like this. The big plaque is in the middle. Well, when the emperor was alive, because the emperor got a lot of sons, as you know, in Chinese system, one emperor had one legal wife, but lots of concubines. And then the emperor should have a lot of children. Okay, early in the Ming dynasty, the system is like this. The eldest son should be successor. While in the Qing dynasty, they changed. They changed to be a secret system to select the successor. The most important reason is for safety, because all the sons will fight each other. They all want to be the successor or the crown prince. So when the emperor was alive, he would write down the name of the successor, one of the son, into 2 pieces of paper. One paper, he would hide it behind the plaque. Another paper will take it by his side. When the emperor passed away, the eunuch or the high-ranking official will take up the box from the plaque and open the paper and make an announcement in front of everybody. And then the people, the son, the crown prince, the name on the paper will be the successor. So that's why we call it secret way to select the successor about this big plaque. Okay? Okay, now let's go inside to see everything.
This is the Palace of Union and Peace. Here was the place where the Empress held the important ceremonies and her birthday celebrations. The Empress usually received the greetings from the imperial concubines, princes, and princesses during her celebration. In the Qing dynasty, in springtime, the ceremony for examining the tools for picking mulberry was held here one day before the Empress went out to offer the sacrifices on the altar for the silkworm. Inside the hall, there are 25 imperial seals kept in this room, symbolizing the imperial power of the emperor. 25 was regarded as the heavenly number because if the odd numbers of 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 were added together for a total of 25, it means that the imperial authority was from heaven. Now, the 25 imperial seals have been taken out of the box and are on display in the treasure house of the Forbidden City. The water clock is placed on the eastern side of the Palace of Union and Peace. It is a time measure. Actually, it's an old clock. It made in 1745 during the Qing dynasty. It is China's most outstanding inventive time measure used in ancient China. The water clock had been used for a quite long time more than 2,500 years ago, before the mechanical clock was introduced into China. In ancient China, the Chinese people invented the method of keeping time by dripping water. So here in the Forbidden City, you can see we got a water clock inside the room, while outside we have a sundial.
Okay, everybody, right here behind me, this small building, this is a Palace of Union and Peace. Palace of Union and Peace was the place for the Empress to celebrate her birthday. You know, in the front court, that was a place for the emperor. Well, this is a rear part, that's for the Empress. So right here, that was a place for the Empress to celebrate her birthday. So all the princes and the wives of the high-ranking officials will present the gifts to the Empress. This is one thing. The second one is, in the front part, that was a place for the emperor to examine the plots and the agricultural seals. Right here was a place for the empress to examine the tools for the maple tree. The maple tree, that's for silkworm. So that was a place for that kind of ceremony. So today, inside you can see that altogether 25 imperial seals were kept inside. But what you can see is the big boxes. They're altogether 25. They are imperial seals used by the emperor in the old days.
So what are the cap of the seals in there?
Okay, her question is, the 25 seals covers what kind of fields?
Yeah.
It covers everything for the whole country. For instance, the military, agriculture, education, industry, and blah, 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 blah. So they covers altogether 25 fields.
Yeah.
Covers the whole thing for the whole country.
Oh.
Okay?
So why is the number is 25?
So
What's
her
the special?
question is, why 25? Any special meaning for that? The reason is, the 25, that's including the numeral culture. Because in Chinese numeral culture, we got the positive and the negative. That's odd number and even number. So all the odd numbers we consider that's a heavenly number. That's a positive number. So if you plus 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 equals 25. So that's why they have 25. Actually, before Emperor Qianlong's reign in the Ming Dynasty, there are more than that. The most one is more than 30 or 39. While in the Qing Dynasty, Emperor Qianlong, get rid of some other things, he kept the 25, just because the numeral culture, 25. From 1 to 9, the plus together, 25. Okay? And inside, there's also water clock. Just now, in the front part, when I talked about the sundial, somebody asked me, today is a rainy day. When is a rainy day or cloudy day? Do you know what time is it? I told you we have a water clock inside the room. So let's go inside and see the water clock, okay? Now, this way, please.
This is the Palace of Earthly Tranquility. This hall was the Ming and early Qing dynasties. After the third emperor Yongzheng of the Qing dynasty moved his bedchamber to the hall of mental cultivation, the empress also moved his bedchamber to the hall of manifesting obedience, or one of the palaces in the 6 eastern palaces or 6 western palaces. After that, the western chamber in the Hall of Earthly Tranquility became a place for offering the sacrificial ceremonies, because the Qing emperors attached the great importance to worshipping the Sama god. So the western chamber was changed into the shrine for a Sama god. In the Qing dynasty,
Now we are here in front of this building. This building is a Palace of Earthly Tranquility. right here was the residence for the empress. As I told you in the front, that was the residence for the emperor. While here in the middle section, in the central axis, the last building, the Palace of Heavenly Purity, the Palace of Earthly Tranquility, was the place for the empress to stay here. But again, after third emperor of the Qing dynasty, because the third emperor moved his living quarter to the Hall of Mental Cultivation, while the wife also moved out from here and followed the emperor to that way. And this place changed. The eastern chamber became the wedding chamber for the emperor to get married, while the altar chamber in the west and became the sacrificial hall, because in the Qing dynasty, the emperor believed some God. So here for the sacrificial activities.
Okay, so I have a question, Professor Liu. So did all the emperors get married here?
Okay, her question is, did all the emperors got married here? No. Only after the third emperor of the Qing dynasty moved the living quarter from here, from the middle section, from the Palace of Heavenly Purity to the earthly, to the building over there, the mental cultivation. After empress moved out, and then this place changed. This is one thing. Second, if the emperor got married before the emperor came to the throne, and the emperor won't have the ceremony right here. Only for those young emperors who came to the throne, just a boy. The emperor got married inside the Forbidden City. They had a ceremony right here in this building. So not so many emperors, okay? All right, now let's go have a look, have a look. Okay, now look at here. Now the tree right here. Actually, this is a cypress tree. But the cypress tree, there are two trees. But when they grown up, look at the branch. They entwine each other and grown up as a one tree. This is to symbolize the two lovers. They hug each other. So there's a saying, when two people, young people, boy and a girl, when they feel in love each other, they come here and take a picture. Just like two people. They hug each other, and then they grow up as one family. So this is an embracing tree. Now, behind the tree over there, that's the temple, Qin'an Dian. It's a Taoist temple. Inside, the god of Xuanwu enshrined in this room. God of Xuanwu is a god who is a water god to control water. But it's not open. You can see something from outside. So this is the only religious building along the central axis. So this is the end of the central axis. This is the only religious building in the Forbidden City. Okay, so here, this courtyard, just a temple, the Qin'an Dian. Okay, now let's walk around in this area. Now, right here, this is the Imperial Garden. In the Imperial Garden, at the end, you can see there's an artificial hill. This is a hill of elegant hill, because this hill is an artificial hill, and they packed up together with the Taihu Rock. Taihu Rock is a typical rock in the Imperial Garden. So everywhere you can see the Taihu Rock, over there, behind you, or in the front. So all the rocks looks so beautiful, because the holes on the rock are made of rushing mountain water. And the four characteristics, you can see the rock. In Chinese, 瘦肉露透. That means it's a long and slim, and you can see through. And you can see the holes on it. Just because this kind of rock looks so beautiful, so in the Imperial Garden, they use the Taihu rock to decorate the garden. Now here, there's an artificial hill. On the very top, that's the Imperial Pavilion. What do you mean by Imperial Pavilion? So Imperial Pavilion means that was a pavilion for the emperor to go up and enjoy the beautiful view of this whole area. You know, this is the home of the emperor, you know. So this is a garden for the emperor. So when they have the celebration days, the emperor and together with the concubine or the empress will go up to the hill, have the view of the whole area. So in the middle, the gateway, the door over there, there are steps there for the emperor to climb. So this artificial hill for the emperor to enjoy himself together with the imperial concubines and the empress. All right, now let's walk around in the imperial garden. We see some of the pavilions over there. All right, this way, please. In the imperial garden, you know, we got some pavilions. Now, right here, you can see the pavilion. This pavilion symbolizes the spring. There's another one opposite, symbolizes the autumn, but they look exactly the same. While there's another pavilion square-sized. This one symbolizes the summer. Another one on the west, they symbolize the winter. So 4 pavilions symbolize the 4 seasons of the year. And on the ground right here, they are the peonies. Peonies in the old days, even today, symbolize rich. So in the summertime or in the springtime, here looks so beautiful with the beautiful flowers, the peony. And the pavilion over there. Behind the pavilion, later you can see there's another small room. That's the 池澡堂. 池澡堂 was a place, you know, in the old days, was a study for Emperor Qianlong. Emperor Qianlong is one of the famous emperors in Chinese Qing dynasty. So that was a study for him. But nowadays, this is a bookstore. So when you go there, you can see lots of books inside. Just because here, originally, that was a study room for the emperor. In Chinese, we call it 池澡堂. Okay, now look at here. This is the imperial garden. In the garden, even on the ground, look at the pattern right here. They are made of pebble stone. They're in a different design. Some of them, they are flowers, but some of them, they have the human figures. That's the interesting story, actually. So even the road right here, they paved in this way. You can imagine, in old days, this is a unique style, ancient imperial garden. The emperor loved this area so much. Okay, thank you. Okay, very nice imperial garden, right? So in the old days, the emperor loved this place so much. Especially look at this building. This 2-story building is Yangxingzhai. Actually, in the old days, the emperor loved this place so much. One thing I have to tell you especially, that's the last Emperor Puyi. Last Emperor Puyi, he got an English teacher from England. His name is Richard Johnston. This is a place where the last Emperor Puyi's English teacher, Johnston, stayed here, the 2-story building. Very nice place, right? Okay, let's look at some other things.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of our tour today. So I have one last question for Professor Liu. So I noticed that the name of the Forbidden City now is 故宫博物院, which means the Palace Museum. So why don't we just call it the Forbidden City? Why we call it a museum?
Okay, let me give you this answer. All right, I'm so happy to answer this question. This is a very common question for people to ask. This is the former imperial palace. How come we call it Palace Museum? Because this is a new name of this place. In 1924, last emperor was driven out of the Forbidden City. When year later, 1925, this area will open as a museum to the public. So that's why since 1925, we got the new name, the Palace Museum. So when you read the guidebook, Palace Museum is the same thing as the Forbidden City. You understand?
Yes, thank you so much, Professor Liu.
You're welcome. Now let's turn around to see the last scenic spot over there. That's the Coal Hill, okay? That's the last one. Now come here this way. Okay, now this is the hill behind the Forbidden City. In Chinese, we call it Jingshan. Well, actually, in the old days, this is a coal hill. In the guidebook, you can find it. First, let me tell you why we call it a coal hill. Because this is an artificial hill. Originally, in the Yuan dynasty, here was the palace for the Yuan emperor to stay. Well, when Ming emperor built his Forbidden City, he made a moat outside. And the dirt dug up from the moat, they piped over there on the hill. So made this artificial hill. Okay, in the winter, Beijing was very cold because in building up the Forbidden City, they spent 14 years. In winter, they used coal, while in summer, they kept the coal on this hill. So that's why the hill known as a coal hill. While in Qing dynasty, the emperor, stood on the hill, could have a bird's eye view of the whole city and has the beautiful view of this area. So they called it Prospect Hill, which means the good scenery from the top of the hill. Today, we Chinese people or foreign tourists, they can go up to have the bird's eye view of the whole city. That's the end of our tour. That's all for today's tour.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Professor Liu. And I wish to see you next time also here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, we sincerely welcome you to China after the pandemic. Welcome to China.
Welcome to Beijing. Welcome to
BICC. That's all for today's lecture. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
See you next time. Bye-bye.